Can you hear me at all now? I'm trying to
Yes,
switch phones. You can hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Well, that's something, I guess.
It is. Go for it.
I can also see a camera option. It says same as system or FaceTime HD camera. I don't know if that's mine or just an option they're suggesting or what.
If you're on your phone, then the FaceTime HD camera may be the right thing.
Well, I'm on a laptop.
Okay,
I'll
sorry. I
click it and
thought you
see what
said you
happens.
switched.
You see me at all?
I do not.
Okay. Well, I guess that ain't it then.
Let's just go
But
ahead
you
with
can
the
hear me at
sound.
least?
Yes.
Yep. No idea. Okay. Well, that's a fantastic introduction for the first 7 or 8 minutes of the broadcast, and now everyone's tuned out, I'm sure. um, so as I was talking to myself just a minute ago, apparently, I am planning to read tonight the title story to my collection, Green-Eyed Monster, which I intended to show everyone what the cover looks like, but you can't see me, so I guess it doesn't matter. The During the Quarantine, you might also check out the Quarantine book sale. There's, I believe, 39 books from 25 different authors that are for sale. Green-Eyed Monster will also appear on that page. But it is actually free for the con right now on Amazon. And it is a book of 13. It's a collection of 13 science fiction, fantasy, horror stories of various lengths and flavors. They're all a little different. The one tonight I enjoy a lot. I think it's kind of a sarcastic story, but I think it's a fun story. It started out as an entry for a contest online where they showed a little snippet from an upcoming book cover from a famous author, and then the contest was, write up to 2,000 words or whatever it was about, write a story based on this image. And the image kind of looked like a desert setting. So I thought, well, I can do that. That sounds fun. And then after I thought about it a minute, I realized that everyone is going to write a story about a desert that takes place in a desert. So then I thought, well, how can I do that differently? How can I write a desert that's not a desert? So this is the story I came up with. So hopefully you enjoy it. And hopefully everyone can hear me now. So, Green-Eyed Monster. I feel like I'm exploring the Great Orbison salt flats, spongy but barren beneath my booted feet, cracked by the sun and dusted with dried perspiration. The slope of his head is a nearby horizon, bronzed and textured with pores. At this scale, it's an alien landscape, as if I'm an astronaut on an arid planet, rather than a micronaut on something so familiar. The lamps burning above are like twin Sahara suns, and the craft behind me a desert sailing skiff. The microship is both a vehicle for QMass reduction and a transport for getting here. Its dorsal and side fins fold, the landing gear settles on its haunches, and the engines hum in stereo as the power plant rebuilds for the return trip. I call it in. Fat man, this is Little Boy. I'm on the surface and feeling good. The skiff's gone into its recovery cycle. Should be ready by the time I'm done. This is Fat Man. Looking good from here, Ray. What's it like to walk on the big man's skull? Oh, inspiring, I say sarcastically. I bet it is, Ricardo says, quite sincere. If this had been a trip to Emil Orbison's ass, Ricardo would have come himself so he could kiss it in the flesh. They all would have. But like most sycophants, they're also cowards. Sure, I was nervous. Who wouldn't be, lying in that coffin-like aircraft, spun down to the size of a gnat? If you were accidentally killed buzzing across the lab, no one would even be able to find the body. But fear is a lesser motivation, and I have more on my mind than giant fly swatters. Warm it up, baby, I tell the skiff. It hums happily in return. I imagine its thrusters will leave a first-degree burn the size of a fingerprint when I take off. It's a comforting thought. My boots sport tiny climbing hooks like insect feet, and I drag them for a few strides. This scuffs up dandruff flakes as big as my hands. I hope Emil can feel it, even in his sleep. I want to leave a mark. Ahead is the curving ridge of his right ear. It's bristled with jagged hairs, and its size and position seem to defy gravity. Both that long hanging cliff, below that long hanging cliff, are what look like the pyramids of strange Egyptians. At normal size, they're just a blinking cluster of shapes, arranged like an electronic snowflake, a slight blemish on his otherwise handsome bald head. Not even a blemish. Jennifer said it makes him look distinguished, like he needs any further distinguishing. Dr. Emil Orbison, man of the year, brainiac heartthrob of the scientific community. And what am I? I was one of Neuroscene's top 5 to watch just a couple of years ago. But no one notices poor little Ray Sharp anymore, not even my own wife, not when he's around. I come to the entrance of the Central Pyramid. It's the tallest of the 7 structures, 3 stories high from here, with translucent walls flashing in random colors. Red, yellow, green, purple, blue, orange, all vibrating to the same repetitive rhythm from a song I don't quite recognize. Is he throwing a New Year's Eve party in there? I'll find out in a minute. A voice crackles in my ear. Fat man, this is little boy. What's wrong, Ray? Access hatch stuck? Yeah, I say into the mic. But give me a sec, I can get it. Officially, this is an exploratory event, the first of 3. For the next week, my colleagues will pore over the data and images I bring home, all the while telling Emil what a great man he is and yipping at his heels like obedient little pups. But I have unofficial business here too. This dog has territory to protect. I switch off the mic and unzip the front of my jumpsuit. Can you feel that, Emil? Something warm and wet dribbling on your scalp? Doubtful. My bladder probably holds half a microliter at this size. Better save some. I zip up, unlock the hatch, and crawl inside. The pyramids are 3N, neuro-nanonodes, invented by this sleeping playboy genius. Modern science can farm riverbeds on Mars and shrink me to the size of a flea, but we have yet to fully plumb the depths of the human brain. 3N will change that. I believe in the project. I really do. Just not in the arrogant guy that's getting all the credit. And if inventing it wasn't heroic enough, Emil had to go and make himself the guinea pig too. What a self-sacrificing jerk. The node interior client combines the workings of an old watch with a Saturday night discotheque. Crystal gears turn everywhere, lit by flickering colors and lighted upon by phantoms from his memory. Ghosts appear and disappear. Murmuring voices provide a white noise background. A few bars from an old pop song play over and over again. I can smell cookies baking and lilac perfume. At the center of this clockwork chaos is the manual interface, a hexagonal pedestal broadcasting a thin pillar of light all the way to the pyramid's apex. I insert the recording cube. The vertical beam changes from idle orange to active green. The ghostly chatter and phantom images all vanish, leaving me alone in the dark crystal tomb with the quiet grinding of gears. I can feel Emil's pulse under my feet. I had to memorize a list of verbal prompts. The official plan is of this miniaturized odyssey. I'm supposed to speak these magical words and see what his memory does with them. The recording cube will capture the images and track all the mnemonic pathways as they zigzag like lightning bolts through his brain. Of course, the whole time Ricardo was going over the list with me, I was thinking of something else. What can I say? I love my wife. And I'm a tiny bit selfish, so for now, the list can wait. Clearing my throat, I speak her name loud enough to penetrate the sleeping unconscious. Jennifer. The green pillar expands into a huge emerald eye. It's hers, dominating the pyramid like Cleopatra's own. It glares down on me, streaked hazel and wreathed in long lashes, unblinking, accusing, almost scolding. For an instant, I feel my righteous armor falling away and the stare penetrating me. I bleed a few drops of guilt before it finally blinks. Then her whole lovely face appears above me, an elfin grin on her thin lips, and I can smell her apricot shampoo. She giggles for Emil, and my guilt dries right up. His memories of Jennifer flash through the empty space. She's wearing a white lab coat and explaining a holographic neural map. She's lobbing another egg into the slimy, sun-colored mess that's sliding down the wall with her homemade catapult. Jen took home the gold that day in our laboratory Olympics. Then, in the next blink, she's at the Christmas party, dancing awkwardly alone in her black dress. Orbison's perspective watches her butt on the dance floor, then her cleavage as she goes for more eggnog. Colors flash through me now, mostly a furious bloody crimson, but also a sickly yellow feeling that sags in my guts. I have another verbal prompt for the interface, but it gets stuck in my throat. I swallow hard and force it out. Sex with Jennifer. This sends the images spinning again like a hand to the wheel of fortune. I watch, nervously awaiting my fate. There are flashes of her laughing, brushing her dark hair away from shining green eyes. Now she's strutting away from him, obviously catwalking for his benefit. She bends over a control console, licks her lips as she's measuring samples. You can always tell by her small mouth when big things are happening inside her head. She slips out of her lab coat and starts undressing, then notices him and closes the office door. She gives him a steaming cup of coffee, their fingers brushing in the handoff. But she never comes up naked. No sex scenes appear from his unconscious memory. She has not slept with him. I can breathe again. My fists relax and blood pumps back into my fingertips. I'm still gonna get you, Emil, I grumble. The ethereal gallery spins again. I've accidentally triggered more memories. Now Dr. Shepard appears above me, gray-bearded, frail, angry. They're shouting at one another. I'm still gonna get you, Emil, says Shepard's ghost. 3N was mine. You couldn't even spell it without me, and you're not gonna get away with this. But he is. I watch, slack-jawed, as Emil's hands choke the life out of his old mentor. The pair of them stumble into the desk, and Shepard's Bellman Prize trophy clatters off and breaks from its base. Panicked, nasally breaths wheeze through the pyramid of memories. Their tangled dance trips over a chair, and both men fall to the floor. The old man's eyes bulge, and his red face slowly turns blue. My own hands twitch. My lungs get anxious. Emil lets go when Shepard's expression of pain shifts from can't breathe to heart attack. He clumsily locks the door and closes the blinds. Shepard curls up into the fetal position, and Emil just stands over him, watching him die. Nausea and glee chase each other in my stomach. Glee wins out the second time I see it. Fat man to little boy, how's it going in there, Ray? I wipe my sweaty brow with one hand and pull the recording cube with the other. It's freaking awesome in here, Ricardo. Wish you were here. I've got just one more thing to finish up and I'll be on my way home. Zip. Can you feel this, Emil? Is your unconscious mind dreaming of a tiny man marking his territory inside your brain? You think that's bad? Just wait till I get out of here. And that's the end. That's actually probably the first time I've read that out loud, and I enjoyed it doing that. Again, it's the title of the story is Green-Eyed Monster, and you can find a book with a cover that if my darn camera worked, I could show you. That looks very much, amazingly, I was able to find an image that looks very much like what you might have imagined listening to that story. A big electronic digital green eyes on the cover. And again, for the duration of the con, that's going to be free. And I would also encourage you to check out 2 other books of mine, along with about 37 other books from a whole slew of authors who all contributed to the Core and Con, and they're all for sale. You can find them on the Core and Con website. So thank you for tuning in and putting up with the technical difficulties, and have a good weekend. Thank you.
All right.